Hey guys, Dusty here. Today I'm reviewing and comparing two different shoes from On Running. I'm going to review and compare the Cloudflow up against the Cloudswift. Now I reviewed both of these shoes in the past, but since putting a couple of 100 miles on each pair, I thought it would be a good chance for me to give an updated review and which one I prefer now. Okay, so first up, these are very different shoes, and I like both shoes, but I use each of them for very different purposes. So we'll start off with the Cloudflow. This was actually my very first shoe that I bought from On Running. Go over some of the basics. It has a 6mm drop, it has neutral support, it weighs in at a very light 7.75 ounces for a men's 8.5. And like I said in my initial review of the shoe, this is the most comfortable and, in my opinion, cushiony, fast shoe that I've ever put on my foot. Since buying this shoe and the Cloudswift, actually, I've bought a racing flat from On Running called the Cloud Rush, and I was shocked to find out that this shoe actually weighs the same as the Cloudflow. So I'm not sure how they packed so much into such a lightweight shoe. Yes, there's flats out there that are a little bit lighter, but the shoe has a lot going on for a shoe that weighs under 8 ounces. Just like every On Running shoe, it comes with a speed board, so it's just a plastic plate that helps with energy return, kind of like the Nike 4%er. So every time you have a foot strike, it's going to load up that speed board and then release the energy forward. Just like every On Running shoe as well, it also has a built-in sock liner, so great for triathletes who don't want to wear socks for the run portion of your race. Just a couple of negatives about this shoe. One of them being the shoe really sucks in wet conditions. So if you're running on wet pavement or you have a race and it's going to be raining that day, I would probably not wear this shoe. I just find it really slippery on wet surfaces. The only other negative I can think about this shoe is a negative that applies to almost every other On Running shoe, and that is if you're doing a little bit of trail running or gravel, rocks will absolutely get stuck in between these cloud pods here. And that's probably a #1 complaint when it comes to On Running shoes amongst most runners, is that you're going to get pine cones and rocks stuck in the bottom. But if you're doing mostly pavement running, then fantastic shoes. And the Cloudflow is probably one of my favorite shoes. I think the first time that I reviewed it, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. I would probably bump that up now to about a 9 out of 10. Only docking marks because not very good on wet surfaces and can't use this shoe everywhere. I wouldn't want to go in a race that had a little bit of a trail section just in case I got a rock stuck in the bottom. I use this shoe for tempo runs. I've used it on the track even. I've used it for long runs that have a little bit of speed and structure in them, and yeah, typically when I put this shoe on, I'm going fast. Lastly, when it comes to the Cloudflow, the fit is normal to narrow. I have a pretty normal width foot, and the Cloudflow fits me perfectly. But if you do have a wider foot, the Cloudswift might actually be a better option for you. The Cloudflow also retails at $140 US, so not a terrible price for a really great shoe. Alright, now we're going to compare the Cloudflow to the Cloudswift. This is a pretty new model to On Running, and the shoe is very different from the Cloudflow. I would call this a neutral support shoe, however it does have this band here on the midfoot that does offer a little bit of extra support. The Cloudswift also fits quite a bit wider than the Cloudflow, so if you have a wider foot, this shoe can be a good option for you. Like I said before, I have a pretty normal width foot, but in the Cloudswift I have no issues with any movement side to side, but it is a little bit wider, so it will accommodate a wider foot. Some of the basics about this shoe: it's 7mm drop, and it weighs, the men's 8.5 weighs in at 10.2 ounces, so it's quite a bit heavier than the Cloudflow. The Cloudswift uses a new foam to On Running called the Helion foam. It's supposed to be more durable, more lightweight, better resistant to temperature changes, so really cold weather running to really hot weather running. I personally don't find a difference, but like I said, the Cloudflow feels so much different of a shoe running in than the Cloudswift does. The Cloudswift is better in wet surfaces than the Cloudflow, so if I've ever run and it's raining out or the ground's wet, I'm definitely always choosing the Cloudswift over the Flow. I don't know if you can tell or not, but the Cloudswift has a bit of a rocker feel and look to it. Now, I personally use the Cloudswift for training only, and even if you look on the On website, it'll say training and it won't say racing. So I mostly wear this shoe for easy runs, some long runs, and yeah, it's really my workhorse. This is a shoe that I'm definitely going to put 500 plus kilometers on, and it's not really my go fast shoe, but that's fine. And this shoe, at least in US dollars, retails in at $10 more than the Cloudflow, so it comes in at $150. If I had to give the Cloudswift a rating, I think I would keep it the same as my original rating when I first reviewed it, and that would be an 8.5 out of 10. I'm docking marks because it's a little bit too heavy for myself to race in. You're going to get rocks or pine cones stuck in the bottom if you're going off pavement. So when it comes to the Cloudflow versus the Cloudswift, winner definitely has to be the Cloudflow. Even though the Cloudswift is my workhorse and I put a lot of miles on this shoe, I wouldn't be opposed to, if I had to choose one shoe, the Cloudflow would do it all for me. Shoe that I can easily do easy training runs in and all the way to hard runs at the track, and I would be totally fine racing the shoe anywhere from, for myself, probably about a 10K to a full marathon. And that's my review. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe for more everything running, triathlon, and nutrition related.